call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now today we'll be taking a look at the Batman Who Laughs as Batman. Now I remember when this figure was kind of leaked and we didn't know what it was actually going to be, but come to find out in the comics, this is actually the version of Batman after he has been infected by the Joker's toxins and begins to transform into the Batman Who Laughs. Now, he does go psycho, and before you know it, he's already killed all of the Bat family, pretty much lays them out with some Uzi action, and then from here, he starts to go crazy and become what we've come to know as the Batman Who Laughs. But it is Bruce Wayne, he's just a little bit psycho. Now, I've actually been sitting on this figure for a while. I did have some plans, some cool stuff I want to do with him. Now, he does look pretty creepy in the packaging, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Not really needed, but sometimes useful. He also comes with his data file card. On the front, you do have some figure photography. And on the back, you do have some information. Now, another thing people thought about this figure is if he is actually glow in the dark. Now, he is not. The greens are really nice on this one. But I'm going to try and put a black light on him and see if he shines in the black light. But we'll check that out in a little bit. He also does come with a kind of comically sized Batarang. Now, not too sure what this is, based on. It's always cool to get Batarangs, even if they're, kind of big. You never know what they could be used for in the future. But always nice to add this to my Batarang collection. Pretty sweet. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. Now, first off, there is images in the comics that actually represent this figure. So it does follow that style of costume pretty accurately. But he is a creepy looking Batman. I do love the tone of him with the kind of maniacal, I want to say funhouse version of Batman. Pretty interesting and pretty cool. I'm all about it. Love me some creepy dark stuff. So really anticipating taking a look at this guy and adding him to my DC Multiverse collection. Let's take a look at the head sculpt. Awesome head sculpt. You got kind of like a little bit more exaggerated chin that's more like the Joker. But, it is Bruce Wayne. Love the paint detail that they added on this guy. His grimace looks pretty cool. A lot of detail. I love the cowl. It has a little bit of like grain texture, kind of like a leather texture. You could even see a little bit of the ears underneath sculpted out. And of course a lot of cool detail in the brow, and the eyes look awesome. So loving this head sculpt. Looks really good. Let's take a look at the articulation now. He looks down pretty good. He also looks up pretty good. Don't need to mod this one. Got some nice range there. You got right to left, and you can tilt his head for some sinister character. All in all, great range in the head. No need to mod this one. Full range is there for the head articulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the waist articulation. You do have side to side. Full range at the swivel. Lower waist swivel. Upper chest swivel. You can twist them, get them in some pretty cool poses. Slight crunch, not too much, but he does lean back really well. Put him in some jumping stances. Let's take a look at the shoulder. You do have that butterfly shoulder joint with the bushing up and down, front to back, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, look really nice. Going down, love the texture and wrinkling work that they did in the costume. Love when they do this. It's like a costume laid over a body. It's not just like painted on. It has all the detail that would naturally be in the folds of a costume, and the wrinkles and everything look really well done. Got some slight bands going around the gauntlet parts into some creepy long fingered hands. Now the left hand is more just like an open grasping hand, but if you go to the right side, it's the same deal, except that you do have a trigger finger hand. Now that will come in handy. And of course you do have articulation at the wrists. Pretty sweet. Pretty nice. You can get them in a T-pose, even a little bit more than a T-pose. Got some nice range there. Beautiful chest emblem that you have there. Love the color. Moving down into the belt. Love this kind of like crazy looking utility belt where it's just like thrown together. Got some gray capsules in the front and a Batman symbol in the front on the buckle. Kind of reminiscent of the old school 66 Batman symbol. Let's check out the thigh swivel. Now, it's really tight. But one tip I am going to give you that I've noticed is that if you heat it up, like here I heat it up with my heat gun, it really opens up the range where it goes wider than if it weren't to have it. And what that does is you're allowed to swivel the hip out or in, depending on how you want, so that you don't really need a thigh cut to break up the sculpt. He does kick up pretty nice, 90 degrees, but he kicks back even higher. That's allowed by the rubber in the trunks, and when you put the legs back, it goes back to its original form. Cock out the leg. He does have that hip swivel. Double jointed knees, really nice. Straighten them out. You have up and down at the ankle, right to left, rocker, and toe articulation. Before we go, take a look at the whole lower body. Really awesome. All, like I said, all the texture work, all the wrinkles that are in the design, really top notch from McFarlane. Taking a look at the bottom, no tread, but kind of like a little grain there with his pointy boots. Moving up the back, more of the same texture and sculpt work. Nice that they put the pouches all around, and then you do have this cool cape. Beautiful distressed tattered cape with an awesome neon green color. All in all, looks really good. Now, one thing I did notice that I didn't notice at first was that the neck and around the collar is a different color than the actual cowl. Now the body is like a kind of purplish dark blue hue, and the neck is actually the same color, but I think it should really match more with the cape and the mask. So that is one of the only things I wanted to do with this figure, was to paint it a matte black and then seal it to protect it. And now when you look at it, it's actually black and it looks a lot better. Like it doesn't break it up the way it did before when it was a different color. Now it looks like a more smooth transition from the upper head part down into the body. So that's just one little change that I did, but he still is an awesome figure. Now, even though this guy is, you know, a lot like my style, kind of like dark horror, more of a sinister feel, I think that's why I actually gravitate to him a little bit more. Now, another thing I did want to do was, in the images from the comics, when he actually shoots the Bat family, It looks like he's using like two Uzis or something like that, two long magazine weapons. So in the McFarlane gun pack, I did have one Uzi. Now, I was gonna open up the other gun pack and give him two Uzis, but the thing is that his other hand isn't really like a pistol gripping hand or a gun trigger finger hand. So I kind of thought, well, I'll just have him hold one, and I'm gonna think about doing a little bit of photography later on, but he does look kind of insane with that Uzi in his hand. But pretty awesome figure, pretty cool character. This was short-lived because, of course, eventually he went ahead and came the next level in his forms, which was the Batman Who Laughs with that nth metal eye cover with the spikes on it, and that's pretty much how everybody has come to recognize him as in that form. Even though he did go later on to become the Darkest Night, which is the collectible from the Speedster wave that just came out. But I'm really happy with this guy. Really happy to add him to the collection, especially in this spooky time of the year. Now I will show him with his different versions, which of course was, let's show him next to my custom Batman 1000 with the oval. And then let's take a look at him next to the Batman Who Laughs figure, also from McFarlane. But really happy to add this guy to the collection. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.